Beneath the bright stage lights and the swirl of media attention, there was a moment in my journey when everything felt as though it was crumbling. Early in my career, I was convinced that my technical expertise and unrelenting drive would be enough to carry me through any challenge. I poured every ounce of energy into my ventures, working late into the night, determined to solve every problem alone. It wasn't just a preference for independence. It was a firm belief that self-reliance was the mark of a true visionary. That belief propelled me at first, but it also became my undoing. I experienced a colossal setback in the form of a failed software project that not only drained financial resources, but also shattered my confidence. Investors began to pull out, and I felt isolated, convinced that seeking help was a sign of weakness. Pride kept me from reaching out. And each passing day, my stress mounted. My dreams started slipping away, and the blame rested squarely on my inability to recognize that collaboration and support could help me overcome obstacles that were too big for one person to handle. I remember waking up one morning exhausted and overwhelmed, wondering if I even had the strength to continue. That was the nadir, the point where I realized my single-minded approach had led me to the brink of failure. That turning point arrived when a seasoned mentor reached out, offering guidance I never thought I needed. At first, my instincts would politely decline, but something inside me had shifted. I recognized how close I was to losing everything. By simply accepting that outside wisdom, I allowed myself to see the bigger picture and gain fresh perspectives I'd missed in my solitary pursuit. Ideas began to flow freely, and the project found a new lease on life. This wasn't just a simple handout. It was the synergy that comes from combining experiences and skills to solve complex problems. I know many of you have felt that same tug between wanting to prove yourself and recognizing that real progress often demands asking for assistance. Whether you're running your own tech startup, leading a team in a rapidly evolving industry, or navigating the challenges of daily life, you might be struggling under the weight of the thing you've taken on yourself. I've been there. It's easy to think you have to carry it all alone, especially in a world that glorifies the lone genius. But the reality is that collaboration isn't just helpful, it's a powerful catalyst for success. Today, I want to challenge that mindset and propose a new approach. Instead of viewing asking for help as a weakness, see it as a strategic advantage. Imagine an environment where each struggle is met with shared insight. Diverse talents unite to propel your idea forward. When you open yourself to support, you forge partnerships that expand your capabilities and unlock innovative solutions you might never discover alone. Embracing collaboration can be your most effective strategy for overcoming obstacles, catalyzing growth, and ensuring long-term success. This shift in perspective may well define the trajectory of your future. Have you ever found yourself staring at a daunting problem, wondering if there's anyone out there who might just have the missing piece to your puzzle? In the rapid-fire world of technology and startups, the pressure to deliver timely and innovative solutions often tempts us to bear the entire burden alone. Yet how many breakthroughs could we accelerate simply by opening ourselves up to collaboration? When we ask for help, we don't merely fill gaps in knowledge, we spark a new kind of synergy that can elevate our entire endeavor. I recall a situation at SpaceX where a specific payload integration challenge threatened to delay a crucial launch. Initially, the internal team was certain they had the expertise to resolve the problem quickly. However, weeks passed and the complexities only grew. In a moment of honest reflection, lead engineers suggested we reach out to a smaller research lab known for its specialized materials analysis. At first, this seemed like an unusual move. External research lab truly have insights we hadn't already considered, but desperation and a growing sense of urgency made the decision easier. Once we engaged that lab, they discovered a subtle materials fatigue factor that had gone completely unnoticed by our internal checks. It was a detail so nuanced that it required the specialized instruments and niche expertise that only this lab possessed. The discovery allowed us to implement a minor design tweak barely visible to the naked eye, which saved us months of potential rework. The request for outside support did more than just fix a problem. It became a catalyst for new engineering protocols and collaboration channels within SpaceX. It was a vivid reminder that no matter how skilled a core team is, sometimes the solution lies beyond your immediate circle. The scenario underscores a deeper principle in the technology sector. The more advanced and specialized our challenges become, the more we stand to benefit from collaborative networks. The notion that each organization or individual can master every domain is increasingly unrealistic, especially when emerging disciplines such as artificial intelligence, quantum computing, or space exploration converge. It's no longer a matter of simply reading a manual or scanning a research article. Cutting-edge problems often demand niche expertise and years of focused study, which can't be replicated overnight. Research across industries confirms that teams tapping into external expertise not only shorten development timelines, but also enhance the overall quality of their innovations. Consider the open source movement. Coders worldwide contribute to software projects. Studies indicate these projects frequently exhibit fewer bugs and faster release cycles, compared to proprietary solutions developed behind closed doors. Underlying reason is straightforward: more eyes on the problem, more diverse perspectives, and thus a greater chance at catching errors or suggesting new features. Extrapolate that model to any venture and the message is clear. We thrive when we extend our reach beyond our immediate skill set. Neglecting to seek help us in echo chambers, fostering illusions that we have it all figured out. But illusions are dangerous. They breed complacency, impede innovation, and can lead to costly oversights. The real power move isn't in pretending you hold all the answers. It's in acknowledging the vastness of knowledge and actively seeking collaborators to help chart the unknown, to harness this potential in your own projects. Mapping out your core competencies and identifying clear gaps. Establish a network of trusted advisors, specialized labs, or freelancers with proven track records in those gap areas. Communication is key. Be transparent about the scope of your challenges so that external contributors can offer precisely targeted solutions. Implement collaboration tools that make it easy to share files, track changes, offer feedback in real time, ensuring that knowledge flows freely without bottlenecks. Also consider structuring regular problem exchange sessions where each team member highlights they can't solve alone. Urgent brainstorming, and don't be afraid to invite voices from outside your immediate team. You might even set up a rotating schedule where you host experts in relevant fields, short-term sprint-focused collaboration. By intentionally designing your workflow to welcome outside insight, you not only find solutions faster, but also cultivate a culture that values continuous learning and shared success. When we shift our perspective from guarded self-reliance to open collaboration, entire worlds of possibility emerge. A single phone call, an email, or a chance meeting with the right person can shorten months of frustration and put us on a path of exponential growth. This is where real breakthroughs occur, intersecting humility and shared purpose. As Henry Ford once said, coming together is a beginning, keeping together is progress, working together is success. And that's how we shape the future. That mindset sets the stage for extraordinary achievements beyond what any individual can accomplish alone. In the early days of Tesla's journey, there was a pivotal conversation I had with an environmental enthusiast whose vision for electric vehicles surpassed even my own. We sat in a modest coffee shop, scribbling on napkins and sharing grand ideas for a future free from fossil fuels. In that moment, I believed I had all the pieces I needed: the passion, the technical know-how, and a vision for sustainable transport revolution. It was a nugget of insight I overlooked. This enthusiast spoke candidly about the complex social dynamics that stood in the way of broad adoption. It wasn't just about building an efficient, aesthetically pleasing electric car. It was also about persuading the masses to abandon something they'd grown comfortable with: gasoline-powered automobiles, for an unfamiliar alternative. Despite the excitements around those early prototypes, Tesla faced skepticism and pushback from multiple fronts. Traditional automakers brushed us off as a fleet and novelty. Potential investors questioned the scalability of our concepts, while prospective customers worried about the reliability of battery technology. Each concern felt like a separate mountain we needed to conquer, and I thought I had to climb them all by myself. The media spotlight added its own pressures. Every shortcoming was magnified, every delay a cause for doubt. And I started to feel as though my personal resolve was the only thing standing between Tesla and oblivion. As months went by, the engineering team raced against time to refine battery performance. Design units struggled to balance aesthetics with efficiency. Costs were piling up, and the path to profitability seemed light years away. I found myself working around the clock, convinced that my relentless drive could overcome any obstacle. What I failed to realize was that genuine momentum and public acceptance would come from multiple supportive voices. It wasn't enough for me to broadcast my dream of sustainable transport. I needed the backing of a larger community: investors, engineers, public advocates, and everyday drivers, all united by the belief that this dream could and should become a reality. The greatest hurdle was persuading people to trust in unproven technology, an industry dominated by established giants. One solution emerged from an unexpected place: the community of early adopters and environmental activists who were thrilled by the idea of electric cars. These individuals were not typical automotive engineers. Some were software developers, some were eco-conscious entrepreneurs, and others were just curious hobbyists eager to be part of something revolutionary. Their collective knowledge became an indispensable resource. Helped out in alternative materials for battery cells, championed grassroots marketing campaigns, and even developed third-party tools that improved charging networks. Behind the scenes, Tesla's survival hinged on forging strong alliances. We partnered with energy companies to expand the charging infrastructure, teamed up with researchers who were pioneering new battery chemistries, and opened dialogues with government bodies that were interested in incentivizing green transportation. Each of these collaborations addressed a piece of the trust puzzle. As soon as the public saw that established institutions, Innovative thinkers and local communities were all rallying around electric vehicles. Skepticism gradually gave way to curiosity and eventually acceptance. To be sure, the road was not without its bumps. Faced production setbacks, occasional battery fires that drew media scrutiny, and fierce competition from other emerging players. But at every juncture, a new helping hand appeared, unexpected partner, or an avid supporter who believed passionately in Tesla's mission. The collective energy did more than just keep the project afloat. It accelerated our learning curve, strengthened our credibility, and propelled us into a larger conversation about the future of global transportation. From this chapter of Tesla's journey, one pivotal lesson emerged. Genuine breakthroughs don't happen in isolation, but at the intersection of diverse skill sets and shared convictions. In our rush to prove the viability of electric vehicles, we could have easily dismissed the people who seemed peripheral or unqualified. Yet time and again, it was precisely those outside perspectives that shed light on overlooked challenges and revealed unexpected opportunities. A forward-thinking startup thrives not on the genius of a single individual, but on a mosaic of talents drawn from every corner of society. Equally important is recognizing that emotional investment in a cause that can be as vital as pure technical expertise. Passionate supporters can inspire those on the fence, mobilize communities, and spark a domino effect of positive change. By welcoming their contributions, you create a broad coalition capable of tackling monumental tasks together. As you reflect on your own pursuits, whether you're designing a product, leading a social initiative, or trying to solve a personal challenge, think about the networks of people who share your passion. They might not be in your immediate field. Enthusiasm and unique viewpoints can serve as powerful allies. Alone we can do so little, together we can do so much, and that changes everything. Helen Keller once noted. Her words ring true for any endeavor. When you open yourself to collective wisdom, you pave the way at transformations that might otherwise remain out of reach. In a recent study conducted by a renowned global consulting firm, they revealed that startups which actively seek external partnerships or mentors in their first 2 years are 43% more likely to achieve sustainable growth. Similarly, research published in the Harvard Business Review noted that organizations employing cross-functional collaboration strategies boost their innovation rate by nearly 30%. These numbers underscore a powerful truth. Asking for help isn't just a soft skill, it's a quantitative driver of success. Additional statistics confirm that businesses embracing open collaboration tend to rebound faster from economic downturns. During the last global recession, collaborative venture showed a 25% higher survival rate compared to companies that operated in isolation. Even in personal development contexts, individuals who join mentorship or peer support groups experience a trend increase in goal completion rates. Each of these figures points to a consistent pattern. Leveraging the knowledge and resources of others can significantly accelerate both personal and organizational objectives. As the entrepreneurial landscape evolves, a segment of venture capitalists are specifically looking for companies that demonstrate a robust network of partnerships. In their view, such alliances signal resilience and a capacity to adapt. Move away from siloed work is reflected in the rise of co-working spaces, where professionals from diverse industries share ideas, forming spontaneous collaborations that can spark brand new business models. Surveys of these environments reveal that nearly 60% of participants have started a project or a venture with someone they met while co-working. Similarly, we see an uptick in open innovation challenges. Large corporations invite startups and independent innovators to help solve their toughest problems. Companies like IBM and Microsoft have regularly hosted hackathons, providing a platform for external talent to shine. This not only fuels a pipeline of fresh ideas for the corporates involved, but also allows smaller, less established teams to gain visibility, funding, and valuable industry connections. Focus on building ecosystems rather than standalone companies demonstrates a clear market trend. Businesses and innovators increasingly realize that synergy and shared knowledge are keys to staying relevant in a competitive, fast-paced environment. A deeper into the psychology of collaboration reveals how crucial perceived social support is for sustained creativity. Neuroscience studies indicate that when we feel part of a supportive network, our brains produce higher levels of dopamine, a neurotransmitter linked to motivation and learning. In an experiment at Stanford, participants tasked with solving complex puzzles performed significantly better when they believed they were working collaboratively, even if they were physically alone. The mere awareness of social support heightened their perseverance and creative problem-solving abilities. In business settings, strategic alliances often outperform solo efforts. A University of Cambridge study focusing on biotechnology startups found those who partner with academic institutions or pharmaceutical companies reach critical R&D milestones 40% faster than peers working alone. The synergy came from blending academic innovation with industry-driven resources, a partnership that dramatically reduced the time from discovery to prototype. This phenomenon isn't limited to science. It extends to countless disciplines where specialized knowledge and resources must align to achieve breakthroughs. When structured thoughtfully, These alliances foster an environment that encourages risk-taking while also providing the safety net necessary for bold experimentation. Translating these findings to your own ventures or personal goals starts with adopting a mindset that prioritizes connection. Instead of viewing your project as your sole responsibility, imagine as a node in a network of complementary skills. Actively seek out conferences, forums, or online groups relevant to your field and engage in meaningful interactions rather than passive observation. Present the challenges you face, invite critique, and offer your own expertise in return. This reciprocal approach deepens relationships, opening doors you may never have known existed. Additionally, develop a system of consistent check-ins with your network, whether it's via monthly calls, shared project management software, or periodic workshops. Keep everyone updated on progress, hurdles, and emerging needs. Collaboration into your project's daily or weekly routine, you create a culture where seeking help is not an isolated act of desperation, but an integral part of how you operate. This shift not only enriches your resource pool, but also inspires others to come forward with insights you might never have considered on your own. Moving forward, we can expect collaborative endeavors to become the norm rather than the exception, accelerated by ever-improving digital tools that connect people across continents in real time. Virtual reality conferences, AI-driven matchmaking for partners, and decentralized research collectives are set to change how we share knowledge. In the long history of humankind, Charles Darwin once suggested, "Those who learn to collaborate and improvise most effectively have prevailed." As we embrace this truth on a global scale, those who proactively seek help and offer it in return will stand at the forefront of innovation. Take a moment to visualize your biggest aspiration or current project. Perhaps it's launching a new product, raising funds for an initiative, or making a meaningful career pivot. Now, imagine you're standing in front of a massive blank wall, representing all the unknowns and challenges that separate you from success. What if, at the snap of your fingers, invite 5 people, each with unique talents and perspectives, to help you sketch out a blueprint on that wall? Picture them stepping forward, not just as faceless experts, but as allies who share your drive to see this vision materialize. How many fresh insights could they bring? How much time would you save? How many missteps could you avoid by involving them in the planning stage instead of going it alone? In a real-world setting, this thought exercise could translate into forming a small mastermind group. Invite individuals whose expertise complements your own, but who also bring entirely different worldviews to the table. Perhaps one is a marketing strategist, another data analyst, a third a motivational leader, and so forth. Set a structured time to convene virtually or in person, and begin by presenting the heart of your challenge. Rather than diving straight into our solutions, encourage each participant to ask clarifying questions first. This approach unveils hidden assumptions and forces you to articulate your vision with greater precision. After laying out the core problem, open the floor for brainstorming. Make it clear there are no wrong answers in this phase, is to foster an atmosphere where creativity thrives. Each participant might reference personal anecdotes, relevant case studies, or even intangible hunches about where an untapped opportunity might lie. Resist the urge to judge ideas prematurely. You want a free flow of possibilities before narrowing down your focus. As the discussion evolves, you'll notice patterns emerging, a repeated emphasis on a particular strategy, or shared skepticism about a certain aspect of your plan. These patterns often serve as the basis for your next, more refined steps. One of the most profound benefits of group dialogue is the shared experiences that come to light. A marketing strategist may mention a pain that once failed miserably until a small tweak in turning everything around. Data analysts might recall a seemingly insignificant metric that, when monitored closely, predicted user churn with startling accuracy. These experiences, both the successes and stumbles, humanize the problem-solving process, offering tangible lessons that go beyond theory. When people feel safe enough to share vulnerabilities, the group gains a library of real-world insights that can drastically reduce trial and error in your own venture. Personally witnessed this dynamic in action. During the development of Tesla's Model 3, we hosted workshops with early reservation holders to glean insights on interior design preferences, range expectations, pricing concerns, the stories they shared from long-distance commute nightmares to everyday cargo hauling needs, deeply informed our final design choices. By actively listening and encouraging them to open up about their day-to-day experiences, we could refine everything from the seat ergonomics to the user interface in ways that catered to actual real-life usage patterns. These perspectives had the power to guide our engineering and marketing directions far more effectively than any single expert's opinion. To replicate such engagement in your own sphere, start small. Organize a 2-hour session with a diverse group whose insights you trust. Present your current roadblock. Maybe it's building brand awareness for your startup or identifying key features for your product's minimum viable version. Before diving in, lay some ground rules. Everyone's input is valid. Confidentiality is respected. And the focus is on constructive feedback rather than criticism. Split the session into phases. Begin by letting each participant describe a similar challenge they've tackled in the past, focusing on lessons learned. Then shift to your specific context, inviting them to brainstorm possible pathways forward. Document these ideas. Use a whiteboard, sticky notes, mapping tool to capture every piece of input. When the session concludes, identify 2 or 3 actionable steps you can pursue immediately, leveraging the momentum of the discussion. Assign clear responsibilities, who will follow up with whom, what resources are required, and what the intended timeline is. By moving swiftly from talk to action, you reinforce the value of collective problem solving. Each subsequent session becomes easier to organize and more effective as participants see tangible results and are motivated to dig deeper into potential breakthroughs. By engaging in structured collaboration, from thought exercises to group discussions and direct practice, you lay the groundwork for ongoing, meaningful support. You gain not only fresh perspectives, but also a renewed sense of motivation. As John C. Maxwell once wrote, "Teamwork makes the dream work." The vision becomes a nightmare when the leader has a big dream and a bad team. When you intentionally build a strong team around your dream, you create a robust safety net that can transform daunting walls of uncertainty into shared canvases for innovative, collaborative success. One of the most significant barriers to asking for help is the deeply ingrained fear that it exposes our vulnerabilities. In competitive fields like technology or entrepreneurship, revealing a gap in knowledge or ability can feel risky. Many worry that partners or investors might view them as unprepared and incapable, jeopardizing trust and future opportunities. There's also a cultural factor at play in many societies where self-sufficiency is hailed as a virtue while reaching out is seen as an admission of weakness. As a result, countless promising ideas stall out simply because people hesitate to acknowledge they don't have all the answers. Complicating matters further, the digital age has led to a barrage of how, to guides, tutorials, online resources, creating an illusion that everything can be figured out individually given enough time. Yet time is often a critical resource in fast-moving industries. Delaying a project by even a few weeks can mean losing a crucial market window, seeing competitor solutions capture attention and market share first. Beneath this surface-level apprehension lies a deeper psychological cause. By asking for help, we risk undermining the identity we've spent years cultivating, be it that of the intrepid founder, the brilliant engineer, or the savvy investor. This identity often becomes intertwined with our self-worth. The moment we admit we need input from someone else, it can feel like an attack on that carefully crafted sense of competence. Society's portrayal of heroic individuals who single-handedly turn dreams into reality only strengthens this mindset. Furthermore, many organizations unintentionally perpetuate a culture where internal competition is rewarded more than teamwork. If promotions and accolades go those who appear most self-reliant, employees adapt by guarding their struggles rather than seeking collective solutions. This dynamic can become entrenched as newcomers model the same behavior, stifling the open flow of knowledge and diminishing the overall potential for innovation and growth. Addressing these challenges begins with redefining the notion of vulnerability as a strength. Leaders who share their own learning curves and openly discuss moments of uncertainty set a precedent that invites others to do the same. In practice, this could involve instituting regular failure retrospectives, where team members examine missteps together, extracting valuable lessons without assigning blame. By normalizing admissions of difficulty, you transform a climate of silent struggles into one of collective problem solving. At the organizational level, reorient performance metrics to value collaboration, instead of merely rewarding individual output. Highlight achievements born from teamwork. This might be as simple as spotlighting a cross-func team that successfully launched a product, naming not just the project lead, but everyone who contributed crucial expertise. Similarly, create mentorship loops that pair seasoned professionals with emerging talent. This structured network of guidance can drastically reduce the fear factor associated with seeking help. When mentorship is an expected rite of passage, people are more comfortable acknowledging gaps in their skill sets. Tech can also offer solutions. Collaboration platforms that log contributions, track discussion threads, make expertise visible can facilitate a transparent, supportive culture. Real-time feedback loops help teams pivot, ensuring that when help is fast needed, it's easy to find the right person with the right skills. Ultimately, the goal is to align both cultural and operational frameworks to make asking for help not just acceptable, but a core component of how progress is made. A practical first step is to conduct an honest inventory of your current projects and identify areas where progress has stagnated. Ask yourself if the bottleneck arises from knowledge gaps or resource constraints that outside collaborators could address. Next, designate point people responsible for outreach. These individuals shouldn't just be good communicators, they should also appreciate the strategic importance of forming the right alliances. Arm them with clear objectives and the freedom to negotiate mutually beneficial terms. Additionally, establish a timeline with set milestones for each collaboration. This might include an initial meeting to define roles and responsibilities, interim checkpoints to gauge progress, A final debrief to capture practice for the future. Ensure you have a feedback mechanism in place. Regularly assess whether the collaborative effort is meeting defined goals. And don't be afraid to pivot if certain partnerships aren't yielding results. By treating each collaboration like a project in its own, you bring clarity, accountability to a process that can otherwise feel amorphous. Assessing the effectiveness of your collaborative approach goes beyond just looking at revenue or project completion. Consider metrics such as team morale, the speed of decision-making, the rate of innovation, factors that can be directly influenced by open support networks. Teamwork is the fuel that allows common people to attain uncommon results, transforming individual efforts into collective triumphs. Andrew Carnegie once noted, tracking how often people volunteer or receive help and whether knowledge gaps are swiftly addressed is just as crucial as the bottom line. The hallmark of successful problem solving lies in measurable collective advancement. Imagine an entrepreneurial ecosystem where reaching out for help is as natural as breathing. Innovation thrives not behind closed doors, but in open, inclusive forums. In this future, startups merge their unique specialties, bridging gaps in knowledge, resources, and perspective. Talented individuals no longer feel compelled to solve every problem solo. Instead, they excel at connecting with complementary minds. The synergies beyond business, influencing social initiatives, educational reforms, and even personal development. Collaboration transforms from a reactive measure taken during crisis into a proactive strategy that fuels progress from the very start. Global challenges such as climate change, resource scarcity, equitable access to technology also stand to benefit from this ethos. Imagine an interlinked global network of problem solvers where the best ideas and resources flow freely across borders, guided by mutual respect and commitment to collective betterment. From large-scale scientific research to community-level projects, the shared spirit of we're in this together could become humanity's most potent engine for change. Far from diluting innovation, asking for help fortifies it, blending diverse experiences into solutions that are both resilient and impactful. Of course, weaving such a collaborative tapestry across varied industries and cultures won't be simple. Old habits die hard, and the fear of exposing weaknesses persists, especially in realms where competition can be fierce. Some worry that open sharing might lead to intellectual property theft, or that seeking assistance could be perceived as an admission of incompetence. Additionally, not every collaboration is guaranteed to succeed. Misaligned goals or communication breakdowns can stall progress. Skeptics might point out these pitfalls as reasons to maintain the status quo. Yet therein lies our collective challenge. Rather than letting these concerns dictate our behavior, we must confront them head on, reimagining the systems and incentives that shape how we work. Future isn't about eradicating competition or ignoring intellectual property rights. It's about cultivating trust, establishing clear ethical guidelines, fostering a culture where strategic partnerships are recognized as cornerstones of achievement. When navigated with transparency and mutual respect, collaborations can transcend the constraints of fear and mistrust, offering a balanced path between protecting innovation and amplifying it through collective effort. For my part, I pledge to continue championing collaborative ventures and initiatives that unite diverse fields of expertise. It's hosting open door forums in my companies, investing in cross-disciplinary research, or supporting mentorship programs. I believe that building a robust network of support is vital for tackling the monumental tasks ahead. I invite each of you to make a similar commitment. Think about how you can actively cultivate an environment that values shared insights, perhaps by starting a mastermind group in your community, encouraging your teams to seek external perspectives, or offering mentor and up and come innovator. We stand on the brink of breakthroughs, those that could transform the way we travel, communicate, and even inhabit our planet. Bring those breakthroughs to life demands more than visionary leaders and well-funded labs. It calls for a global web of passionate, inquisitive minds eager to pool their knowledge. Publicly recognizing that none are the answers, we set a crucial precedent. We affirm that our willingness to learn from each other can be the most powerful driving force behind sustainable, meaningful progress. In the end, the journey we're on, whether personal or professional, is meant to be traveled in solitude. Every roadblock becomes surmountable when you realize there are countless hands ready to help lift you over it. Each time you collaborate, you reaffirm the timeless truth that greatness emerges not from lone efforts, but from united dreams. Embrace this mindset of seeking and offering help. And watch as horizons you once thought unreachable draw closer with every shared step. You don't have to face every challenge alone. In fact, the most transformative victories come when we stand side by side, forging a future none of us could have alone. Together, let's open collaboration and unlock the remarkable potential that arises when we dare to learn, innovate, and grow. Together.